Chapter 8, Hotlines. The humans walk down a long platform with a giant electronic sign with the big red letters across it, blazing across it. Welcome to Hotland. As they departed from the edge of waterfall into Hotland, they felt an immense heat. I'm not surprised Undyne doesn't want to come here, Sam assumed. I'd probably make her into a fish fillet. Yeah, Tyler and Jacob jokingly agreed. Just then, they heard really heave nerd breathing. Hi you guys. The humans heard from a few feet away. Is that who I think it is? Tyler asked. Yeah, it's me, Alphys, the Drake monster introduced. I'm gonna give you a tour of Hotland. Cool, Tyler replied. Or is it? Sam joked. Let's go, Alphys told them. And they started walking into the depths of hottest place in the underground. They passed this sentry station, walked by the length of a bridge, and turned right, leading them into an elevator. Let's go to level 2, Alphys instructed. And they entered the long elevator. They walked along the ways of platforms and conveyor belts. They passed the area where Frisk had disarmed bombs. Well, let's go back, Sam requested, because they were done traversing the higher level. When they walked back to the elevator, they went to the lab. This is where I live, Alphys told them. I guess I'll be moving out to the surface soon. Man, I miss this place. I could imagine, Jacob agreed. Even though you guys were all cooped up in here. And they passed through the lab and continued on through Hotlines. They eventually made their way to the long pathway. Well, I'll leave you here. You guys can just walk through MTT Resort. As they entered the hotel and restaurant owned by Metaton, they heard some music coming from speakers. And they decided to visit the infamous Burger Pants. Welcome to MTT Resort Burger Emporium, the cat monster greeted about. Stop, you big boys. Can I take your order? In a little bit, Sam replied. How much do you hate your job? A lot, he said. Well, on the surface, there are easily 1,000 times more jobs. The sooner you move to the surface, you can stop working for Metaton. Dude, okay, but what person wants someone like me to work for them? Dude, he asked. Anyone, as long as you shut the fuck. Okay, as long as you want your job and try at it enough.
They were playing the Willie Nelson tune.
Sam explained.
It's funny how time slips away.
Cool, but please order. If you don't, I'll probably get fired without my paycheck. Burger Pants told them. Okay, 3 gram burgers, Sam told him after reading the menu. Thanks!
And that is Jazz Network at WFMT.com.
They got their burgers and then walked out the exit. As they walked onto the bridge, going out of the exit of Hotlines, they heard the music fade into the humming generators of the core.
And experiment. Maybe get a little silly even.
Chapter 9, the core. Hello, darlings. The humans heard a voice yell from a distance. It sounded like someone who broadcasted a live video or a radio station or Twitch stream. What the heck? Jacob started to ask. Welcome to the Giving Humans a Tour of the Core, Metaton interrupted. These are the fabulous humans. Yo, can you just stop? Sam frustratedly requested. Oh, encounter. The show must go on, the robot entertainer answered.
It's not your car.
Dude, just please. Don't make this seem like it's scripted, Sam told Metatron. Okay, fine, he replied. Now let the show begin. God, I'm so sweaty. Mettaton pulled out a bunch of cameras and positioned them to be looking at the humans. Despite the fact they were being broadcasted through the entire underground, they kept moving. They walked through small hallways across bridges, surrounded by endless void. Both sides were almost blinded by the light. Blinding? And were just plain annoying at Mettaton. The humans, monsters, and many cameras traversed the core that was the core. The maze that was the core. After a while, Mettaton decided to play some music to make the video quality better. The music actually made the journey a significant bit better. Hey Mettaton, Tyler asked, how many viewers do you have on this show? I'm honestly not sure. Let me check. 95? He answered. They continued, listening to the Elpis music, and eventually walked past Mettaton's stage. I guess you'll see me around, Mettaton sent them away. If you want to come on my show, you can call anytime. And they exited the core.
So exited.
Wipe this up for my brother. Chapter 10. The King's Home. They entered an elevator that took them to a higher point. Once they arrived, they were amazed. Everything was a shade of white, black, and gray, except for them. This is crazy, they all thought aloud. They walked around a corner and then saw it, a giant city, the same as one of the ruins. How? That must have took ages, Jacob asked in disbelief. That's what they had, lots and lots of time, Sam answered. As they continued on the pathway, they saw tons of monsters getting out of their houses while carrying their belongings. They were headed to the way the humans were going, so Sam, Jacob, and Tyler sped up. They passed the two final buildings and saw something also odd, an exact duplicate of Toriel's house with Ray. As they passed the treeless patch of leaves, they headed in. It was an exact duplicate. Even the chair in the living room. Until they got to the hallway. Instead of the room farthest down the hall being blocked off, the middle room was Asgore and Toriel's room. They went down the stairs, usually leading out of the ruins, but instead they saw a line of monsters waiting to get for something. Probably to be. Well, the humans just passed them. They continued down the hallway, seeing another city, or just possibly the same one. They turned left, entered a long orange and yellow hallway. Chapter 11. The Judgement Hall. They saw a shadowy figure. They walked closer until it's then she stopped. So your journey is almost over, I hope. I hope you had a good time. It said in a familiar voice. Huh? You did say that you'd be seeing a figure, Sam responded. Well, how'd you like to know what humans who are bad have to go through? Yes. Sand, sure. But please, don't hurt us too much, Sam responded. Okay, Sam responded. And the room faded out, and everyone went into the black and white. Oh yeah, I forgot about fights, Tyler said. It's a beautiful day outside. Birds are singing. Flowers are blooming. It's on days like this. Kids like you. Sans paused, and everything darkened for about a second. Should be burning in hell.
He said it! He said it!
Monsters crowded behind the humans, just as Sans threw his first attack. He launched the human souls to the ground and made them push back up. Sam and Jacob made it through the swirl of bones and the 8 gaster blasters. Sans teleported Tyler behind him and healed him. Sans, is this all you got? The remaining two humans asked. during their turn, they chose act greater than check. Oh my god. Sans, attack 1, defense 1. The easiest enemy. Can't fight forever. Try to win. Sans sent bones from above and below, making them jump. He sent 2 sets of bones. A blue bone followed by a small normal one. They stopped on the blue from what Frisk said. And they jumped for the white. But Sans caught them off guard when he reversed the attack. Next, Sans used an attack similar to the second, just high, low, and middle level. You're doing pretty well considering you haven't been here before, Sans complimented. After Sam and Jacob each burgers, Sans sent out another attack. He put bones on the entire ground, except for where the other monsters were, and put some bones at the ceiling. He used 2 attacks like that, and they had to jump from platform to platform. The next attack was oh so similar, but with 2 platforms, one up high and one down low. Sans had randomly set bones to travel towards the humans, but they dodged them. You're a pretty hard enemy, Jacob said towards Sans. And with that, Sans kept attacking. He sent an attack with 3 rows of bones going vertically and a platform going in between them. Sam and Jacob jumped over and ducked under the bones. Sans then used his gaster blasters and another set of platforms. Sam and Jacob jumped to avoid the giant weapons. Sans then used another version of the attack, but faster, in which Sam and Jacob had to jump, but not too high. Then he used the same attack, but random heights of the gap. Sans then repeated his gaster blaster attack, but this time Jacob got knocked out of the fight. Damn it! He exclaimed as Sans teleported him near Tyler behind Sans. Man, you're pretty good. You're making just as tired as the genocidal kids. Thanks. Just let me eat. Tell me where you want to start, Sam said as he another part of his burger. Now, Sans told him and started his next attack. This time it was a super fast attack. He launched bones at Sam, making him jump because of the height. Then he put out 2 attacks of making Sam jump after teleporting. He used those attacks twice, and he used an attack with 2 blue bones coming from both sides, followed by white ones. Each different attack in one turn made them teleport around the Judgement Hall. Well, I've got to get used to this, Sam told the somehow sweating skeleton. Next, Sans sent out a next attack. He sent gaster blasters around Sam, trying to hit him, but he missed. If this wasn't as easy as I thought, I wouldn't have even challenged you, Sam teased, just as Sans let out another attack. The skeleton put 2 magic platforms and bones all around the ground, and he made 2 bones go on top and 1 on the bottom, making Sam have to dodge. He then made another wave of bones that Sam had to dodge. He then made 2 rows of bones that Sam had to jump over and crouch under. Finally, it was Sam's turn. He ate a piece of butterscotch pie that healed all his health back. Sans then ran another set of attacks at him. Sans threw him at the walls and the ceiling and the floor. He put bones on the surfaces to make Sam jump right as he slammed down. How was that, Sans trash talk? Sans used the same attack again, this time not hitting Sam at all. Now, Sans used the same tracking gaster blaster attack, only they were even bigger, and the beams were twice the size. He hit Sam twice, diminishing 1/4 of his health. Gee, you're really acting as if I did some bad stuff, Sam told Sam. Well, other humans haven't exactly been so good, Dad. You wanted to know what stops them from killing me. That's it. Sans said while starting his attack. Bones came from the ceiling and from the floor. Sam had to jump from side to side. Sans then used 2 sets of 4 gaster blasters, making Sam jump and run all over the place. Then Sans used his attack with 2 height levels of Bones. Then he made Sam jump again. Sans then slammed Sam up, down, left, and right. Yet again, Sam wasn't damaged at all. Sans, are you almost done? Sam answered, looking at the monster behind him. Meh, Sans responded, not really caring. Sans then used his giant gaster blaster to hit Sam, but missed every single time. Sans then slammed Sam on the side of the hall, this time hitting Sam with his bones once. After Sam finished another piece of pie, Sans attacked once more. He set out gaster blasters, used his attack that made Sam drop from one platform to another, and used the attack to make Sam leap into a gap. Kid, you must have came here before. There's no way you can do this, Sans told Sam, nearing his final attack. I guess I'm just good at dodging. Sam answered while finishing his last piece of pie. Sans then used his 6 more slamming attacks, not in a row, as well as trying to use his gaster blaster 4 times, also not in a row. Thirdly, he used 2 colleges of attacks. What the fuck is that word? Still not hitting Sam once. His collages of attacks, still not hitting Sam once. His final attack was next. Sam didn't know that, but he replenished all of his health anyway. Sans launched Sam at all sides, even one time. Each one time. Then he launched him towards the right, but every time Sam got close, Sans teleported him back to the left. Somehow he's still keeping Sans' momentum. Each time he was teleported, a new set of bones were there to make Sam dodge. Once Sam had passed the bones, Sans pushed Sam to the right, making Sam jump as to not let the bones hit him. Sans then teleported Sam and threw him to the bottom left diagonal, and then the bottom right diagonal. Then Sam's left. Sans threw Sam to the top left and started his final effort to make Sam not make it through this fight. Sans used his signature weapon, the Gaster Blaster, and made them go in every direction at an intensely fast pace. Sam had to jump and run in a spherical motion at least twice. Then Sans, shut up! Then in Sans' final moment, he slammed Sam in all directions of the ceiling, walls, and floor. Wow, kid, I'm pretty surprised, Sans told Sam. You're really good. Thanks, Sans. I think I'm as tired as you are, Sam responded during the applause of the monsters in the back. Well, be on your way. And here are some burgers if you get hungry or need to heal, Sans said right before he teleported, and then came back with 5 huge burgers. Thanks, Sam said. Chapter 11, Asgore. After the half-hour nutrition, the humans got on their way. They exited the Judgement Hall and walked down the long hallway. They entered the doorway at the end of it, avoiding the hallway with coffins. Oh, hello, they heard a voice saying. You must be the humans who are touring our home. Yeah, and you must be Asgore, Jacob answered. Pretty dark. Yes. Now, which of you just beat Sans? The Goat King answered. I am, he answered. Congratulations, Asgore answered. Now, would you like some tea? No, thank you. Tyler and the others interjected. Okay, I am just relieved that I can just speak with
Monty
human
Croft
guests
singing
without
his heart
having
out
to kill
and
them.
playing those vibes.
As
A
Gore
beautiful
told me.
ballad we don't hear too often.
We are
dedicated
too.
to you.
Tyler
Before
answered
that,
for the
Bill
group.
Evans at the piano
Asgore
playing Our Love
mentioned
Is
for
Here
them to
Stay,
come
and we
into
started
his
that set
castle,
with Song
and they
with
did.
Orange from Charles
Wow!
Mingus's
Sam
Shoes
admired
of the
the
Fisherman's
large
Wife.
amount of golden
I'm
flowers.
Gina Lee
Thank you,
Ross. You are
Asgore
listening to
answered.
Jazz.
They are my
Great
favorite
to have
type.
you with me. Get in touch with us anytime and let us know
They
what
walked
you
around
like
for a
about
while,
the jazz.
and then
Our
Asgore
email
told
is
them-
jazznetwork@wfmt.com. We'll finish this hour with
To
a
their
little bit of
surprise,
film music.
all
from
the
Bill
monsters
Lee's
that they
film
met
score
were
to
there,
Do
but with
the
boxes
Right
in
Thing.
their arms. Hey humans, Sans greeted. We figured we'd walk you out. Also because we're moving to the surface. Yes, humans, Papyrus agreed. Also, Asgore, we have your moving stuff as well. And so they passed through the doorway, leading them out to the area of the former barrier. Thanks a lot, guys, Sam said. They were astonished. And that